Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to ATS Showcases, and today we are here once again in the Iowa DLC, and I am here in Cedar Rapids at the Quaker Oats processing facility, which for the sake of American Truck Simulator is branded under the Flavor Fair in-game naming, and we're going to head down from here, of course, in Cedar Rapids through Iowa City once again, and down to Ottumwa today, delivering to another Flavor Fair facility, and we'll be driving this International LT day cab configuration with the Flavor Fair trailer, which of course is hauling our packaged good, or for the sake of today's video, our packaged oat products. So without further ado, let's get this LT started up and get on the road. Now keep in mind, this is being recorded on the early access version of the Iowa DLC, therefore everything you see and hear is still in a work in progress state and could change upon official release. And second of all, there are no third-party modifications to this game today. Everything you hear and see, once again, is American Truck Simulator and official DLC content that you can purchase for the game in entirety. Alright, let's get rolling. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I certainly am, and yes, this is the Quaker Oats facility in real life, but yes, here in American Truck Simulator, known as Flavor Fair, or at least under the branding of it. This facility is absolutely massive. If I remember correctly, this facility in real life produces, or at least processes, about 2 million pounds of oats per day. That is insane in terms of weight. But it's a massive facility, a huge complex around, but for the sake of American Truck Simulator, if I can look on the little GPS map here, really this frontal section is what's kind of more of our job opportunities, really. But as far as I know, that's a dynamic unloading or even maybe loading shed over there, definitely on the unload for us if you're hauling various grain or whatever to this facility. There's a lot of contracts going in and out today, and I'm technically hauling packaged goods in today's video, which I'm classing as packaged oats for the sake of, well, realism and what would be potentially coming out of here. Now, I know Quaker does a lot of other products as well that are, you know, some form of oat or granola product, but we're sticking more with the realistic side of the of things here with just the packaged oats. So that's what we're running with today, and of course heading down to Ottumwa and to another Flavor Fair facility. So for the sake of today's delivery, what I'm classing it as is we are transferring packaged products from the main facility here to another kind of secondary processing or fulfillment center down in Ottumwa. I was hoping to get one to a actual store, so for example a Walmart or so on. Unfortunately wasn't able to get that, but that is okay. You know what, things happen. Logistic network is the way it is, randomized in many senses, so we just have to roll with it in what we get. But you know what, I think that looks fine, and actually we're gonna go spin around here to just see the skyline of Cedar Rapids, and in particular that facility. You can really see from the distance how far, or just really the scale of it in general. But Iowa DLC looks amazing, and it's those situations, or those depots in particular, that really add those extra layers of realism and detail to the DLC and make it stand apart compared to a lot of other DLCs. But a lot of our recent DLCs in that same sense for ATS have been incredible in terms of the details. And again, those just simple custom depots, I say simple, but as simple as creating custom depots completely changes the dynamic of doing deliveries. There is pretty much no cookie cutter content here in the Iowa DLC from what I can tell. Maybe some of these service stations, that being the actual service stations itself, and there we go, Cedar Rapids discovered, the game finally decided to do that. Other than maybe some of like the actual service centers, not the gas stations per se, or some of the other rest stations, but the actual service centers itself and the buildings that they look like. Basically everything else is custom, from what I can tell, and that is incredible to see. I am so happy to see that as well. Again, more realism, more detailed, just more diversity within what we're seeing in these DLCs make it all just come together so much better. And I am very, very impressed with the Iowa DLC so far, and of course, we'll continue to explore it over time. But if you are watching this on video release, most likely it is official release day for the Iowa DLC. So, in that sense, happy release of the Iowa DLC if you're watching this post-release of the DLC. And if you're watching it, well, on video release, potentially before the release date, depends on how YouTube decides to process it. But we won't go there in today's video. That's a prime rant for another day. But hopefully you're enjoying the Iowa DLC at very least, and I have definitely enjoyed covering Iowa in terms of the early access, and it has been once again a huge privilege and an honor to do so, and we'll be continuing to explore Iowa in different senses in the official release version of the game, and of course we'll be doing some other content related to that as well. But of course, with the release of the Iowa DLC, there is the Cruising Iowa event. So that is basically the standard for any standard in-game event if you have World of Trucks, which is free, of course, but you can connect it, your profile to it. It's basically an online community event platform by SEO Software. The World of Trucks connection allows you to be party in some of these events, and so Cruising Iowa or the cruising line of events is a standard for any new DLC release across ATS or ETS2. Cruising Iowa is the new one, and so you just have to take deliveries to or from, I can't remember how many cities, it's either 8 or maybe it's all 12 of the different cities, and you'll be able to get some rewards for completing those deliveries. Very, very neat, and just a nice way to explore the, different cities within the DLC and some of the different areas, and get a free reward for doing so. And there's also a community reward as well if everyone partakes in it, and of course calls a certain number of deliveries, or at least a certain amount of miles logged. Basically, is generally how they do it. Either way, great to see that coming along here, and of course Iowa finally releasing to everyone. A very, very exciting day nonetheless. So I've decided to come back with the International LT. It's been a little while, but with the day cab configuration today, and not with an ownable trailer, but with one of Flavor Fare. So this is why I wanted to do this delivery. Of course, with Iowa there are so many major interactions basically for the DLC. There's so many different, or attractions, it's probably, and there's definitely interactions as well. There's a lot, and sorry, I went on the brakes a little too hard there. There's definitely a lot of attractions, and also a lot of points of interest, and we got to go this way. Lots of points of interest as well related to the DLC and things that I have wanted to cover early, and it makes it challenging to try and figure out what to do. So of course, this is why today we are doing this delivery. Of course, this major facility here with the Flavor Fare in-game in Cedar Rapids, but of course Quaker Oats is a major attraction, a huge industry, custom industry depot that has been brought in, and I wanted to do a delivery on it fairly soon. But there are many other things coming up. As far as I know, next episode will be one with the brand new agricultural, basically manufacturing industry and the dealership associated with it. That's what I'm going to try and do, and I'll see if I can get over to the right-hand side here. There's a car on my inside. There we go. We're going to try and hit that, and then there will be also a special transport DLC video coming up very soon with a heavy haul. That's going to be an interesting one as well. Again, just so much going on here in the Iowa DLC, and it's just a matter of trying to cover it all in these videos and just what sequence to come into and the whole legs. But we're getting there, and I'm sure you all can agree that there's just a lot to explore, and it's just a matter of time, and at least you will be able to explore Iowa if you so choose to, well, probably as of watching this video. And I will say it, I've said it before in previous episodes, I will say it once again. Thank you all so much for the incredible support here with the Iowa DLC release, or at the very least the early access looks on this DLC. The support here on the channel has been incredible, and it has been incredible for many, many years now, but it just continues to grow, growing into levels that I never thought honestly would happen. If I could be completely honest with you, I just never thought it would, the Prime Simulation channel would grow to the way it did. I've always just enjoyed doing this for what it is, but it's great to see the support coming along with it. And thank you to everyone who's giving me different suggestions, whether it's on pronunciation or different, you know, ways of driving and so on. There's so many different ways to do things. It's nice to see some different opinions and general consensuses on various topics in general. So I thank you so much for the support, both in monetary support, views, interaction, you name it. So great to see. So it looks like we should be getting fairly close to Ottumwa now, or actually pulling into Ottumwa, if I am correct. I mean, at least that's what the previous exit was for the sign. If a signage, it was saying Ottumwa this way. There's a lot of different areas, and of course I've been doing a lot here on the eastern edge, mainly because there's a lot of major industries over here because of where the cities are. But we're going to try to head to the west side of the state a little bit more, at least soon. Honestly, it will just depend, especially with next episode. I am trying, oh, there we go, we've discovered Ottumwa. I am trying to get that agricultural delivery set up, which will most likely be a little bit more central to eastern side, just because of where some of the dealership and also manufacturing facilities are, but they are spread out enough. I'll see if I can maybe do a different route and not cover some of the roads that we've already driven on, but I will do my best. Keep an eye out for that video to come. It will be coming very, very soon. Again, plenty of things here on Iowa that will be coming just down the line. Now, another funny thing I actually want to talk about, and this kind of goes along, kind of circling back to the support here on the channel. There are a lot of new people here watching the videos, and first of all, welcome, and second of all, thank you. But thirdly, there's a couple little, shall I say, kind of funny comments, but little rumors or questions that people have about me that I want to just address, and I've addressed it recently, but I'm going to address it once again. First of all, no, I do not talk like this all the time. Arguably, some situations it does blend in a little bit. This more commentator or announcer voice, it does sometimes creep into my real life as well, but generally speaking, no, it is not. And why do I speak like this? Well, it's honestly just my style. And by no means is it perfect or anything like that. That's for sure. It's far from it, and I will never be perfect. It's not, well, in my opinion, not possible for humans to be perfect. When it comes to how I speak and why, my whole philosophy here with what I've tried to aim for and what I continue to strive for is essentially like a, say if you're, you know, driving along or you're watching this delivery and maybe you're listening to this in the background while you're doing something. It's like a radio show. That's kind of what I've always strived for in terms of how the commentary progresses, and that's why there's certain emphasis in the ways I speak, and also the progressionary sense of it, and why it's a little bit more consistent in my commentary as well. There's not too many gaps. Some will say that I should stop talking at times, and I do try and do a blend at times. But generally speaking, that is the reason why I go for more a radio show or almost like a professional podcast kind of style of videos. There's plenty of content on YouTube and other social media types for various simulation games where it's very much just, you know, game sound, very little talking, whatever, or the commentary is very broken and so on. I've always liked a little bit more of a complete package, and that's why I try to strive for that with my videos. So in that sense, as I say this with as much respect as possible, kind of take it or leave it. with me here. It's kind of the way it is. I will try, of course, and do some different things that kind of blend, and I do my best not to, you know, drag things on completely, but it just depends on the episode. There will be times where I don't speak a ton. There'll be some times where I speak a lot. It is just the nature of the game. But you know what? It's just my style at the end of the day, so that is why. And then the final bit, which was actually, I don't know if it's a bit of a compliment or not. And actually, where do I have to park this thing? Somewhere down in... Oh, there it is, right there. Final thing, kind of along with my voice, is no, it is not AI. I am an actual human being. So I don't know what AI voices you are listening to that, you know, sound anything like me or the way that I speak. I guess that kind of touches into the how the, you know, the radio announcer side of thing or radio show stylistic approach that I have could be a little bit more formal in that sense, so AI could maybe manipulate it a little bit more like that. But no, that is by far not the case. I don't use any AI stuff. It is just me. What you hear is authentic crime, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But we are here at Flavor Fair here in Ottumwa. What a great delivery. Thank you all so much for the support once again here on the Iowa DLC Early Access, and thank you SES Software for providing access to the Iowa DLC for me here early. It's been a great opportunity. Love to do it all the time, and I look forward to future releases as well. Comment down below what else you want to see from me here on the Iowa DLC. As I've talked about today in previous episodes, there's a lot coming, and it's just a matter of time and my ability to get the videos up and out to you, and a little bit of YouTube processing shenanigan in the way of that. And again, that's a future rant for another episode. 12 brand new cities, of course, but a lot of interesting details in between. So once again, keep an eye out here on the Prime Simulation channel for various episodes coming up here. There's a lot of good things in the pipeline. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.